To show you a photo, just one, because sometimes one photo is all it takes to get to the heart, as it were, of the issue. This was the famous photo, for instance, that showed a young girl running terrified down a street in Vietnam that galvanized Middle America against that war. And who can forget this photo of the dead boy on the beach several years ago that led to the throwing open of Europe's doors to millions of refugees?
Oh my God, dude. Launch Rupert Murdoch and Sky News into the fucking sun. What a fucking way to describe the refugee crisis from Syria that opened the fucking doors. Yikes, dude.
The reason these photos are so powerful, of course, is because they trigger an emotion.
Wait, hold on.
Rather than a rational response, which is why the media and the left-wing propagandists love them. So much easier to tug.
The media and left-wing propagandists love dead babies because it triggers an emotional response rather than a rational one. Dog, the emotional response is the rational one when we're talking about ethnic cleansing that happens to murder children. That's not left-wing propaganda, you fucking demon. You absolute demon. You maniacal, bloodthirsty demon, dude. I hate the propaganda because it questions my humanity. When I see dead children, I think I need to have a rational response, which includes murdering of more children. There is no fucking both sidesing dead kids, dude. That's it. Like, I'm sorry that puts you in an awkward argument. Here is one way out of that argument. Don't defend the side that is murdering children. Like, literally, if one side is trying to eliminate the further murder of children from happening and the other side is like, nah, we're going to keep doing it, there is one simple tip: not to fucking look like an absolute bloodthirsty psychopath. And that is to say, yeah, this is really bad, we should stop doing it. Or yeah, this is really bad, we should actually help these kids. Like, it's that easy.
At the heartstrings than to offer up fact, reason, and logic.
The fact, reason, and logic in a situation like the refugee crisis that he so carelessly covered here is to stop the displacement, okay? Or to welcome the displaced into your country, because we have the capacity to take care of them. Imagine taking a position and literally comparing the dead Palestinian children to the dead Vietnamese children, or the dead children as a consequence of the Syrian refugee crisis, while you are literally saying that you were for the Vietnam War and did not want to open the fucking doors to Syrian refugees, and simultaneously saying the rational, logical response to dead Palestinian children is more dead Palestinian children. Like it is so demon-like that it is unfathomable for most normal humans to literally be like, wait a minute, is he saying that the Vietnam War was poggers? Imagine having a pro-Vietnam War take, you know, in 2021, the year of our holy Lord.
Currently, a war is raging in Israel, and here is the photo that tells you,
oh God, okay,
everything you need to know about the history and the future of this conflict. This is what is called the Iron Dome at work in the skies above Israel. On the right-hand side of the photo, you can see the deadly rockets being fired out of Gaza in an aggressive and deliberately offensive act of war, designed to kill and maim as many innocent, everyday Israeli citizens as possible. Those rockets, by the way, have been supplied by Iran, funded in part by the Obama-Biden administration, and indeed by countries such as ours via our donations to the United Nations. Now, on the left-hand side of the photo, looking like something out of Star Wars or Close Encounters, you can see the Iron Dome, a technological miracle that allows Israel to shoot those Iranian and Hamas rockets out of the sky in a purely defensive act designed to save citizens.
Wait, I'm confused. Is he going to then simultaneously show the bombing campaign that Israel engages in on a daily basis? Like, after this? People aren't criticizing Israel for having an Iron Dome. That's ridiculous. Now, I've yet to hear someone be like, I fucking hate that they have an Iron Dome. Like, they should let Palestinians just, like, fucking bomb indiscriminately. Absolutely no one would be like, yeah, it's actually bad that there's an Iron Dome. It's not. It's good that there's an Iron Dome. No one is criticizing the Iron Dome's existence. As a matter of fact, everyone celebrates it. So the real criticism here isn't the Iron Dome, but instead the fucking bombing campaign that reverses the roles here, and there is no Iron Dome for Palestine, and there are not even any bomb shelters for Palestine. So what's up?
Citizens' lives. Now, allow that to tug on the logical side of your brain rather than tug at the emotional strings of your heart.
He's like, please make a logical argument here as I literally spoon feed one-sided information to you to try to justify the horrific war crimes that Israel engages in on a daily basis.
On the right-hand side, a barrage of deadly missiles supplied by the terrorist Iranian regime to the murderous thugs of
the terrorist Iranian regime?
Hamas,
what the fuck does that have to do with it?
Designed to kill Jewish men, women, and children as they sleep in their beds. On the left-hand side...
What? On the left-hand side, you have the Israeli Defense Force that literally successfully kills Palestinian men and women in their sleep, like literally successfully.
Side, a highly sophisticated and remarkable defensive system designed through ingenuity and necessity over many long years to protect.
I thought we weren't making emotional arguments. I guess it's an unemotional argument if you are siding with the cruel oppressors, I guess.
Lives. That is the story of the Gaza
Oh, you fool. You simply do not understand.
Conflict and the history of Israel and Palestine. Pretty much everything else you will hear is obfuscation, distortion, and lies, including this insidious rubbish that the Palestinians are the victims courtesy of the pernicious moral relativism of the left, peddled incessantly by the mainstream media and spouted by fools such as the creepy former leader of Pink Floyd, Roger Waters.
Unless some pressure is brought to bear upon the Israeli government to stop their ferocious, murderous attack on Gaza.
Yes, I hate the mainstream media, which I certainly am not a part of here. It's Sky fucking News. What is the mainstream media like? If not Sky News, like what is mainstream media then? Like this is such confusing rhetoric from the fucking anchor at Sky News, dude.
What rubbish. Of course, this disgraceful performance by Adam Bolton on Sky News in London interviewing the Israeli ambassador, Tzipi Hotovely, takes the
United Nations, its duty to say that Hamas is committing a double war crimes. Right. One war crime is they're shooting from civilian areas, and the other one they're shooting to civilians. So they're committing double war crimes.
As you well know, the United Nations has repeatedly said that the settlements are illegal in international law.
Bro, that's hilarious. Bro, double war crime. Hamas is both responsible for the oncoming rocket fire and the outgoing rocket fire, dude.
And should cease, and those are continuing.
But they need to condemn terror organization, which is recognized by Britain and by the United States, that is now shooting into civilian
all
population.
I'm saying is a bit rich to say
people.
the United Nations should do something when Israel is ignoring what the United Nations has said in the context of settlements.
Can I ask you something? What would you do if Britain was under a fire? What would you do if London was under fire and rockets were thrown on your house? What would you do? Do you think Britain...
Not an emotional appeal, by the way. Hey, remember, Sky News is showing this as the logical appeal, not emotional. It's a truly unemotional way to do logic and reasoning. For those of you who didn't know, logic and reasoning is basically just whatever is on my side is logical, cold, hard facts. Whatever is on your side is emotional and bad. Okay, that's it.
Would have sit in silent, not protecting its citizens.
Yeah, England would never know about being a occupying a colonizer who had to fight a disproportional warfare against a militant group that wanted to use radical and militant acts, sometimes of violence, to defend itself. England would never know that, so I'm glad that she's asking this question.
Do you expect any sovereign country not to protect its citizens?
Of course you can protect citizens. The question is the retaliation and the attacking of civilians in Gaza and elsewhere, which, as we know, once again is leading to disproportionate suffering on the Palestinian side.
Disproportionate, settlements. So just...
Wow. What another logical and reasonable, well thought out, cold, hard, factually based argument from this fucking ape. This goddamn Sky News baboon, dude. I am feeling like my mind is expanded from all of these high level ideas. Watching this Sky News animal do and chest thump as a defensive counter. Wow, incredible, dude. So much facts, so much logic.
To be clear, in the eyes of the woke left, Israel should sit back silently and allow its citizens to be blown to smithereens.
Wait, but you just talked about the Iron Dome and how fucking impressive that is. So is the Iron Dome weak and pathetic and incapable of fucking stopping Hamas's, like, bathtub rockets and fireworks? Or is it an impressive technological feat, which it is, that it would protect the Israelis, like, nearly in its entirety, especially if they were able to, I don't know, secure a fucking ceasefire agreement?
By rockets and bombs because of complicated historical reasons. There are some disputed Jewish settlements out in Judea and Samaria.
Oh, just some disputed.
Area on land that, by the way, for over 3,500 years has been...
I've never seen this guy before, and I just gotta let you know, guys, my day is ruined, okay? If I never knew that this fucking dog shit, absolute fucking monster ever existed, I would have lived my life happily. Happier than I am now, okay? My day is irreparably damaged.
The home of the Jews. That's your lefty logic. Oh, and if Hamas fires thousands of deadly rockets into the suburbs of Tel Aviv, if imams call for Israeli Muslims to rush out and buy cheap 5-shekel knives to slit the throats of their Jewish neighbors alongside whom they have lived peacefully for decades, as
yeah, decades before the occupation, peacefully for decades under, you know, Ottoman rule. I guess that's what he means when he says peacefully for decades.
They have done. If synagogues are burnt to the ground, oh, that's all hunky-dory. But it is disproportionate. What a vile word.
Disproportionate is a vile word. What the fuck, dude? Yo, I swear to God. What's so disproportionate about this is his reaction to, like, even the most minor things that he has declared an infraction. He considers any amount of, like, Palestinian resistance to be the most significant of war crimes, just absolute genocidal. We must end it all. We must end it all. Meanwhile, like, Israel's literally doing genocide. He's like, that's understandable and a reasonable attempt. Well, actually, he doesn't even bring that up. He never brought up Israeli retaliation. Notice how the conversation never even got to the fucking child casualties on the Palestinian side. What a fucking monster this person is. Gross, dude.
Proportionate of Israel to defend its people.
Like, he says it's a vile word to say it's disproportionate. Like, Israel's bombing campaign that has killed more than 200 Palestinians in the past 2 weeks, calling that disproportionate is vile in his minds. It's not disproportional, motherfucker. It's genocide, okay? It's disproportional in the sense that it's literally a massacre, that it's genocide. I have a lot more words for that than disproportionate.
How dare the Israeli government stop Jews being killed? Well, may Adam Bolton hang his head in shame.
Oh, God. I fucking hate him, dude. I hate him, dude. I hate him so much.